This week, I've been driving this 2023 Kia Telluride. Let's talk about what that's been like in this video. We'll walk around it, and then we'll take it for a drive. So, it's been about a year since we've been in one of these, and since then, Kia has given this a mild refresh, both inside and out. We've got a slightly different interior, and this spec is really nicely spec'd. It looks really good. We've got a terracotta interior with a midnight blue exterior. Let's hop out and show you what that looks like. This is a pretty top trim, the SX Prestige X Pro all-wheel drive. We have some chunky Continental all-terrain tires in 245/60 R18s. Again, love this blue. About $55,000 as tested. 3.8 liter V6 that makes 291 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque. Of course, that's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Only one powertrain available for the Kia Telluride, no hybrid options or anything like that. But I've got to say, after spending the week in this car, this is just kind of one of the best family 3-row SUVs on the market. And I can see why people love these things so much and why they're so desirable. The packaging here is great. It's just an easy vehicle to live with. Starting out back here, check out this 3rd row space. That's comfortable for adults, easy to access. We spent a lot of time in the Honda Pilot recently. I think I slightly prefer this 3rd row to that. This is probably best in class. There's even room behind the 3rd row to put some stuff. Got some more storage under here. You fold down these seats, and there's just a ton of room. That's easy, all manual operation. But we're gonna leave these up because we'll hop in the 3rd row here momentarily. Cool. Heated and ventilated seats for the 2nd row passengers. Harman Kardon sound system. Access into the 3rd row is super simple. All you do is just push this button and everything just folds forward. Ingress, egress, super easy. There's even a bit of a grab handle right here. And all you have to do is just pull the seat back and it mostly resumes to its previous position. I'm incredibly comfortable back here. This is amazing. I even have a good view out of the window. USB-C ports, cup holders, little place for the seatbelt to live so it doesn't rattle around. This is very nice. Even set forward a little bit, the 2nd row passenger has plenty of room behind the passenger seat, and this being a 7-seater configuration, there's some room to pass through here between the front seats. Push this button, that slides forward. Super easy to get out of. And you can adjust the backrest of the 2nd row too. Liking that. Little grab handle to get into. Adjustable armrests. Here's all of your climate control up here. Vents. Pretty attractive looking interior too. Lots of physical buttons and dials and knobs. I love to see that. Here's what the key looks like for the 23 model year. A little bit big and bulky, but I like the rubberized coating and it just kind of looks nice. Super wide door opening. Plenty of room to jam car seats back in here, load in people, cargo, etc. Only thing is the resistance to close the door is just a little bit light. So if you're on a hill or a slope or something, these doors can slam on you a little bit easier than I would prefer. Just got to watch out for that. This X Pro looks really sharp. Loving the dark chrome around the grille and the window sills. This looks really nice. 3.8 liter V6. Nothing special about this powertrain. It's about average with efficiency. 18 in the city, 24 on the highway. It does the job. Naturally aspirated V6. Kind of an old school power plant for this SUV, if I'm being honest. Takes 5W30 oil. Regular fuel. Gets the job done. I do miss the amber DRLs in this Telluride. Let's hop up front, walk you around the front seat just a quick minute, and we'll take this for a drive. Get out of the rain. Okay, so lots of screens, pretty familiar look compared to what we've seen with a lot of other Kia models. Wired CarPlay, wireless charging down here, heated and ventilated seats, lots of physical climate controls, 3 auto fan speed settings, heated steering wheel, everything's just laid out beautifully, and you've got quick access buttons to your media, your navigation, your setup. Love that. This screen is nice and responsive, bright. You've got lots of brightness adjustments here. 100 different levels. To the left, we've also got a tow mode. This can tow up to 5,500 pounds in this configuration, which is great. I really like the cameras in this Kia Telluride. A few water droplets on them today, but nice high resolution, good visibility at night or in low light situations. You can see in this above 360 cam, you can kind of zoom in and out, which is neat. It'll automatically switch to the forward-facing camera when you put it into drive, and you've got a quick access button right here. You can also kind of scroll around your Kia Telluride if you want a bit more of a detailed view. That's neat. Lots of information here in the digital gauge cluster. You can see tire pressures, torque distribution, driving assistance, fuel economy, speed, all that good stuff. And we also get a head-up display, which is nice. Auto up-down windows on all 4 corners, 2-seat memory settings. Like I said earlier, tow haul, hill descent control, traction control off. You can hold that button to pop the tailgate. Down here we've got all of our drive modes: Comfort, Sport, Eco, Snow, Smart, and you can see the gauge clusters change too between those modes. I've mostly just been driving this around in Smart mode. It works just fine. Cup holders, nice place to put your phone with wireless charging down here. Parking brake, auto stop start, turning that on and off down there too. Nice big center console. Yeah, nice interior materials too. Alcantara suede headliner. I mean, for 55 grand, this is a very nice place to be. Cool. All right, let's take this for a drive. Got a nice rainy Michigan Sunday evening. Hasn't rained here in about a month, so this is very welcome. Got auto front wipers, a bunch of different speeds. I love how everything is shown to you in the gauge cluster, what you're doing. And we also have turn signal cameras. Show you your blind spots. Just a cool little setting. And listen to this, stop start. Barely hear the starter on startup there. That will default to on every time you start up the vehicle. Steering at low speeds is super light. Let's talk about this X Pro trim. Kind of a neat off-road trim if you want to be a bit more adventurous with your Kia Telluride. I read about a couple complaints that the ride is a little bit too stiff on these all-terrains. I haven't experienced that this week. This feels very nice, and 60-degree weather on these all-terrains feels great. Low levels of NVH, not a lot of tread noise. Traction in the wet is pretty good. This feels really nice. Maybe tire pressures were pumped up a little bit too high, or it was in the winter when the journalists tested this car, but I like this X Pro trim quite a bit. You actually get a little bit extra ground clearance in this trim, probably from different tire size, slightly revised suspension, but you get 8.4 inches of ground clearance instead of 8 inches of ground clearance in the X Pro, which is useful. Of course, you can get the Telluride in a number of different trims. Starts at under $40,000. You can get front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. This is pretty loaded up though with all the features, and at 55 grand offers pretty decent value. If you need to go and do a few more adventurous things in your Kia Telluride, take the family camping, explore a few more alternative trails on your vacation, this is probably a pretty good SUV to do it in. We do have a locking center differential, no off-road drive mode, but it should get you through most medium to moderate situations. Fun fact, I actually got engaged to my wife in Telluride, Colorado, and and Telluride's a pretty cool, fun, and adventurous place. It's kind of out of the way, but I definitely recommend a trip there at some point. Nothing exceptional about this powertrain. It's just a V6. Decent power, decent torque. Pretty smooth too. No major hiccups this week. A few little hesitations between gear changes, but for the most part, this thing drives just fine. Maybe not as fun or as exciting or agile as the Honda Pilot, but pretty good road manners, especially considering this is the off-road oriented soft rotor trim. Seems like everyone's doing these soft rotor versions of their SUVs, and why not the Telluride? We have Highway Driving Assist 2.0 in this. Pretty good. Lane centering, nice adaptive cruise control. Everything's super easy to adjust and change. It's all represented in the head-up display too, so you don't have to keep your eyes too far off the road. And it seems to be working reasonably well in the wet today. Sometimes that's not always the case, and it looks like it'll even auto lane change. That's nice, taking into account the vehicle in front of us. Yeah, quiet, comfortable, not a lot of wind noise on the highway. Close this sunroof right here and a lot of the rain noise goes away. I think the big takeaway here is that this Telluride is just such a nice vehicle to live with on a daily basis. All the controls, all the packaging, you can tell that Kia really put some thought into this SUV, and there's so many little features that are just so nice to live with that really add up over time. The more time I've spent in this, the more I've just enjoyed living with it. And I think that's why these Tellurides are so desirable and so popular. There's nothing groundbreaking here. There's nothing revolutionary. Pretty much all the SUVs in this class kind of do about the same thing. This just does it a little bit better than everyone else. Not sure I'd recommend going out paying big markup on something like this, but it is a very desirable SUV, and I can see the reason behind some of the hype behind this thing. Inputs feel nice, plenty of bite from the brake pedal, and again, no complaints about ride quality in this X Pro today. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick sound system test with this Harman Kardon. Decent sound system for the money. Oh yeah, we also get a rear view mirror camera, which for the most part shows a pretty clear picture, except for on rainy days like today. Luckily, You even get pretty decent visibility out the rear window with the third row seats up. Pretty bumpy section of road here, and this X Pro is soaking everything up. These seats are really comfortable. A lot of adjustability here. Driving position feels a little bit high, but again, I have a ton of headroom above me, so no worries there if you're a taller driver. I like the throttle tuning in Smart mode. Comfort tip-in can be a little bit aggressive. Sport mode just kind of ramps things up a little bit. Honestly, these drive modes are too useful in an SUV like this. They just kind of change the throttle mapping, the character of the transmission. We don't have paddle shifters or anything. This isn't really a sporty vehicle to drive, which is fine. Pretty good turning radius. That's nice to see. Didn't really have a chance to take this off-road this week or test any of the off-road cred from this X Pro trim, but I'm sure there are some other videos that do a pretty good job at that. I've heard this can get through some pretty decent off-roading situations. And these Continental tires are a really nice choice for a highway, daily driving, friendly all-terrain. Okay guys, that's going to be a wrap for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Revisiting the new 2023 Kia Telluride today. This has been a pleasure to live with all week, and would recommend. This is definitely up there on the list for recommendable 3-row SUVs. I think this and the Pilot would have my money. New Toyota Grand Highlander, that's a pretty good option too. And if you want the Hyundai Palisade, does a lot of the same stuff, but maybe a not as good looking of a package. Cool. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.